Hello, I'm going to try to show you my thesis animation and how I worked on it with SketchUp. So these files were transferred from a low spec desktop but was able to handle Lumion 6. If you see my thesis files, it's just SketchUp, layout, and pictures. I tried to organize them by objective. So the first objective of my manuscript was site utilization, followed by building layout and character, SDP, and the rating for green ecological building responsiveness. These four answers to the thesis manuscript, which is here. 5, 6, and 5, 6, and 6, that's supposed to be 5, 6, and 7, are my presentation folders such as scale model, animation, and renders. For site utilization, started with photos. Photos show the buildings in the site, the church building, the experiences I had there, the surrounding buildings, the people, the interior. So I tried to spend much time there at different occasions, such as weddings, playing basketball with the young people, helping out with construction of the existing church. These experiences allow you to have the most basis for defense because you know what the site is like at any time of the day and weather. So these other photos are from Google Earth, and this is from a lower year. I asked her to make some legends for site utilization, which comes here. So I started with the lot plan while doing all those because this is technical information that you can do even without going to the site. From there, you can make the contour maps with information from Google Terrain as well, and your visual maps, such as the proposed design buildings, proposed renovation, and the existing buildings. Sun map, wind map, hydrological map, visual maps, auditory map, and other sensory maps, as well as the surrounding zoning. For objective number 2, building layout and character, answers to planning and design. Planning with the floor plans, and design or character with the elevations. So for each building, there's a bubble diagram with color-coded public, private, and service areas. Perspective is just imported in layout. It's not rendered due to lack of time, but it's also a concept for everything to look flat, easier to just copy paste into the manuscript. And the location of the building in the site. These plans are made with layout and SketchUp, so no AutoCAD. Sections, other buildings, scale of the person. You can see the purlins, mess hall, construction shop. The background is transparent, that's why it looks like that. Storage of generator. So these all are based on the guidelines, based on my experience as well working in TESDA accredited school. So we teach architects, engineers, draftsmen, IT, accountancy, and their sister school teaches welding, plumbing, other construction related TESDA courses. So after working on these, design and character, proceed to our site development plan. Using the information of the buildings, we can put them on the site as XREF or external references. To make the file light, we didn't focus on interior or aesthetics first. Making of the SDP, so just a screenshot without the lines, building layer, site with trees, and the wireframe. So using Photoshop or layout, you could put them overlaid on each other, which comes out like this. So these are location maps for circulation map and the site development plan. Each building is coded with a number and with overall dimensions and index keys. So this is quite overloaded with information. So it's nice to use legends for those. Now that we have our objectives, can proceed to the bear the rating. So my rating was actually made in the manuscript as paragraphs. So these are just additional pictures for basis to explain each paragraph, like the stormwater runoff, location of MRF, material recovery facilities, circulation, or the paved areas, and location of solar panels and other recovery facilities as well, such as storage for plastic and paper, stormwater reservoir for reuse, and biodegradable waste, compost pit, and segregation bins. After all that, you could also use Sketchup and Layout to instruct lower years to help with your scale model. So this is made of toothpick and this is the reference. It's already in centimeters. While they're working on your trees and helping with your site, you can focus on your animation. With each building file that you have now, these are XREFs in Lumion. I was using Lumion 6, so it wasn't really that realistic, but it was still heavy for the computer. Let's try to see some videos. This is a video of the existing site when it rained. This is an example of a screen recording while modeling. So I tried to record the workflow, but I did not show it in the animation, just for my own improvement later on. If you can see, no AutoCAD, all 3D to 2D. Sections. I was able to count the doors because they were all components. Use of fog. Structural. Skydrop animation. Just a simple one. For the tech vault building. Samples of interiors. If you can see, the quality is just 2 stars, and there are material glitches which will take time to redo. So advice, always check your SketchUp model first before exporting. Sample of building 2. Notice how slow the camera moves if you're trying to emphasize on an area or a design. So not everything needs to be walked through. This is on a rooftop garden, but I didn't show plants because the main aim was really towards the systems. Example of the construction shop or training for Tesla welding, plumbing, painting, electronics. More emphasis on the welded angle bars, the perforated flooring. Also the reservoir for stormwater, the basketball court. A mistake I had with the animation was the use of my sun. It was too fast, and other clips like this, frame rates were too low. So if you want to see the final animation, it starts with the neighborhood. Notice how the music will have lyrics on it, and it's okay as long as it goes with the message of your design. Since this is a mission center, I kind of wanted to emphasize a bit of sadness because people just come here and go. And also, the song talks about shelter later on. So, try to break the notion that all animation music should just be instrumentals. Also, the walkthrough. Try to make use of cutscenes. Cut and fade is a very effective way. Slow down to the parts you think is part of the design solution. So I'm trying to actually convey something which is HVAC, plumbing, electrical, and energy conservation. That's why the focus of the animation, usually like here, the perforated flooring or the gardens, has more emphasis rather than just the beauty or trying to render realistic. So that's an example of animation or thesis organization files. So I put each XREF outside so I could easily work on them, and their components are gathered inside the layout files of each folder. It's my manuscript, chapter, revisions. So do not delete your revised files so that you know which one to go back to and revise later on. And that's my whole thesis file. Keep it clean, keep it simple. One software, one workflow. If I had Enscape sooner, it would be a lot less files here in the animation folder. There's one part here that tries to show the example of an existing site video. Hmm. This part there. So feel free as well to add existing videos into your animation because this really has a strong impact in the before and after I wanted to show the jury. That's it. I hope you enjoy it and continue working on your thesis animation. These are just software and tools. What's really important is the solution you communicate with your design to address the problem.